Well, good evening to everyone. This is Dr. Ella Thorpe on Tustin Longevity Center, Talk to the Doctor. We are a functional integrative healthcare clinic made up of physicians and naturopaths and physician assistants. And we are trying to use preventative medicine and to restore your health and to help people who have medical problems to regain as much, if not all, of their functional health again. And we do this weekly, every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. We meet here for an hour. And we have emails where people type in questions that they have. And this is not meant to be medical personal advice. These are the questions that we'll answer and the general medical approach that we take here in a functional way to help our patients and family to get a grip on what is preventive health, what is functional medicine. I've been practicing 41 years. My father was in food research for Armour Foods for many decades. He retired doing that, and so I grew up around the alternative movement, and I've always practiced integrative medicine and worked with many of the greats who are well known for this. We have many doctors here. We're a group of 7 healthcare practitioners, and we bring together a volume of information here at Tustin Longevity Center in Southern California. We are almost on the beach. Newport Beach is a little, the next town inland right on the coast, and then we're Tustin, which is right behind Newport Beach. It's a very nice community, and we're so thankful for the rain. We hope that you all had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's. And as far as New Year's resolutions, I haven't made any, except I intend to keep the ones that I've always made. And, mine are to, promote health, promote preventative health, promote training up young healthcare physicians to do the best that they can do for their patient, because it's all about you. This whole program we're doing here is because you matter. Our patients are why we're here. Yes, it is a job in the sense that we gain our income from it, our viability, but you are the reason, and your questions matter, and your outcomes matter to us. And so we practice standard allopathic medicine if it's required for a medication or a treatment, and we use our consultants for referrals. But for the most part, we're trying to help you to see the way we look at things that have brought over many decades people into far, far better health, and guide you through that. So down at the bottom here, there is a link where you can email in a question, and make sure you title it this question for the video, Ask the Doctor. You can also chat in your question on the chat if you're on YouTube and a member of that. I'll try and get through all these questions, and I haven't seen them. We always wait to the end of the day to capture the last possible input, and then it's dropped off on my desk late in the afternoon. And so I'll do my best. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you that. Often I'll be looking up something during the week. Of course, last week was a holiday week, so I really didn't do anything too much. I took a little break, but that's the way that you can communicate. If this is valuable to you, then we would encourage you to like and to subscribe, and to share this with family and friends. You don't have to be a patient here, because these are all general questions with general responses. If you have a specific question or concern and you are a patient, please use our regular office communications by calling our office at 714-544-1521. You can text your question there as well, so that we have the ability to use your chart and to respond properly. Otherwise, we will return our responses in a general format because this is not meant to be personal care over YouTube. So let's go ahead and begin our YouTube email questions. We always start with our email. And the first one I have, well, actually, this is a leftover from December 27th. Apparently, it was missed. Let's see if I apparently missed that one. All right, so Patricia said, I came down with a stomach bug on Christmas Eve, headache and diarrhea throughout the night. The next day, I rallied and seemed much better with less energy. Then around 9 p.m. on Christmas Day, I got the chills and couldn't shake them. Went to bed and finally warmed up, but the headache was worse and I had diarrhea all night long. On Monday, I had a fever all day, fluctuating from 99 to 101. I was glad for the fever. Slept most of the day. The diarrhea stopped and the headache lessened. Today I am woozy and very little energy. I haven't indulged over the holidays and always eat well and stay very hydrated. I would love your advice on what to do to heal my stomach. I've been drinking my proper amount of water, ginger tea, and ate some white rice and a scrambled egg. Patricia, you're probably already resolved on this. I did not see this, but in general, when anyone gets what we call a stomach bug, a stomach flu, or a gastroenteritis, the first thing we usually advise them to do is to stop eating solid foods and go onto a clear liquid diet. And by that, we mean in general, going on chicken broth or beef broth. These are just clear liquids that have the brownish, yellowish color of the flavor of the beef or the chicken, but there's no solids in it. So it's got a lot of electrolytes, salts, and minerals that you need. And you can heat this up, and it's nice and warm to be sipping on in a cup. We ask you to do that. Then we ask you to go and get some sugared drink like ginger ale. It has the sugar in it, not diet ginger ale. And then often we'll say add some water to it to get the fizz out of it so you don't get the gas from the fizz in it. And you keep on drinking the clear liquid chicken broth or beef broth and the ginger ale mixed with a little water. That way you're getting your sugar, you're getting your salts and minerals. As you rest your stomach, whatever irritated your stomach means your stomach needs to heal. Give it a break from trying to do its work. Just like if you sprained your ankle, you know immediately to give it a rest. You don't go out and start walking on it to get you around. So the same with your stomach. If it's giving you some upset stomach with loose stools and stuff, give it a break. And so we do this from 24, 48 hours just on these clear liquid diet. All that fluid, the rest, the energy coming from the sugar, which is in the ginger ale, usually is what will clear almost anything up. And then after 48 hours, then we use the brat diet. That's the typically it's bananas, rice, applesauce, and T stands for toast, but we never recommend toast. So our solids usually would reflect something like applesauce, banana, and white rice. And if you tolerate that on the third day, then you can go usually back to your regular diet. But that's how we appropriately deal with it. As far as there being some mystery herb or mystery treatment, there isn't. It's really letting your gut heal itself. It heals very rapidly. It's one of the fastest turnover areas in our body for trying to heal. That's often why if you're fighting cancer and you're getting chemotherapy or radiation, there's such a rapid turnover rate in the gut that people will get diarrhea from the secondary side effects of chemotherapy and radiation. So the gut tends to heal itself if you give it a good rest, and usually 48 hours is what it needs. and not to be eating anything. And then on the third day, you start your very bland foods. And what is mostly bland would be the sugar-based foods, applesauce, banana, and something like white rice. Then the fourth day, you eat a regular diet. That's how we would approach it, Patricia. And we go from there. Carolyn says, do you get enough fiber with your 1 meal a day diet? I certainly do, and my fiber is largely, I'm mostly carnivore. I'm eating beef and chicken, pork, and then some fish, and I'll have the very low carb. If I eat any vegetables, it's broccoli or asparagus or Brussels sprouts or green beans or spinach, and that's typically it. And so I use probiotics, and then I, can have a regular form stool right on time every day. So you can get enough fiber on a 1 meal a day plan. Now, currently, I'm on my 5-day fast. I'm starting day 3 now without having eaten anything, just a water fast. And I'm doing quite fine. I did my workout, and I'm doing my workout in the morning as well. I have workout 5 days a week. And this I always do on New Year's Day, January 1st, after we have our New Year's dinner. And then that's usually around mid to late afternoon. So that was Sunday to Monday to Tuesday, and now I'm starting into my 3rd day. So yeah. That's what we're doing. Let's see, what's the next question? Erlene says, hair thinning and hair loss here, and want to know what vitamin supplement can I take, and is laser treatment okay? We lose the protein generation and repair and building as we age. Our hair all thins. Everyone who ages, it thins. Our nails, we heal less on scratches and cuts. It slows down. So thinning hair is the course of aging. Now, most people are not eating enough protein, and most people are not exercising as they get older to build up their muscles, and so their muscles dissolve away. So as we're losing muscle mass, how on earth can you expect your body to try and repair and build a great thick hair when our muscle wasting is, about 1% a year? So there is no mystery mineral. I have been practicing 41 years, and in this, I am never-endingly seeing women discuss thinning and hair loss. So if there was an answer, I would certainly share it with you. The principles of health are what keep good hair and good nails, and that is you've got to have good circulation. So we promote EDTA chelation therapy, IV. That improves the microcirculation. If you look up a YouTube called Tact Update 2019, Dr. Lamas. Now, TACT is all capitalized, TACT update 2019, and just DR and then capital LAMAS. You'll see a 15-minute video about the remarkable vascular improved blood flow throughout the body, even with diabetic foot ulcers and amputations that are being planned for poor circulation. And you'll hear a cardiologist discuss this. Now, there's many other videos on this. But if you have good circulation, that tissue is going to get more of the daily nutrients. As we age, everything is thinning out. Our skin is thinning, our hair is thinning, our brain is shrinking. And that's all because tiny little capillaries are getting clogged up with sugars, antibody antigen complexes to foods and other things. And so we tell people if you live a lifestyle that is moving always toward good health, and that means getting a good night's sleep, drinking enough water, half your weight in ounces as a daily amount. So if you're a 200-pound man, you need 100 ounces a day. If you're a 150-pound woman, you need 75. Eating enough protein, because we're made of protein and fat. And some of the dietary research on the nutrient density of our food compared to the nutrient density research performed in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s shows that an apple today is not as nutrient dense as it was 50 years ago. You might have to eat 5 or 10 apples to get the same amount of nutrient density. Of course, you get all that sugar. And that goes for almost everything, because we're moving to this industrialized farming rather than local farming, and volume sales over quality is what's happening. And the soil is being raped and raped and raped, and not allowed to rotate and rest enough. And then you have all the chemicals, and then you have in the food stores, you go grocery shopping, and about 80% of what's on the grocery stores didn't exist 50 years ago. You look around, and all these packaged foods that dominate the largest volume space of your grocery stores are created, and they're processed. So the outside aisles usually have the meats and the dairy and the vegetables and stuff, and even the quality of these are starting to diminish. So Earlene, yes, your hair will thin with time and age, but you can slow that down with a good, wide, broad spectrum multivitamin mineral with a good antioxidant. Our choices here are the TLC Energy Core and the TLC Multi-Mineral, the Juice Plus series, EDTA chelation, systemic enzymes that work as anti-inflammatory to keep the inflammation of your blood vessels down, drinking enough water, not clogging it up with a high carb, sticky, starchy, fruity, sugary type diet, and exercise and a good night's sleep. Natural hormones are maintained, natural estradiol, natural progesterone, natural testosterone, and thyroid function checking. And then with that as a base, all the B vitamins, you hear about biotin as being very valuable. But if you're doing all these things, you're going to be getting those things in it. The laser treatments, infrared lasers, or these lasers that are skull caps and such, they're valuable in that they have a very local effect on energy delivery to the scalp capillaries, and that is improving the circulation. So again, if you're exercising, if you're taking chelation therapy, drinking enough water, not clogging up the pipes with a lot of sticky sugars, eating late at night, food allergy antigens, and so forth, you'll see that that's the best way to look at preserving your hair quality. Barb has a question. She was wondering what my opinion was of the program OsteoStrong. Does it help to build bone in time, as they claim? Thank you. I don't know the program called OsteoStrong. I'm not familiar with that game or gimmick or program. So what we suggest here is bone building is based on the same health principles that all bodily health repair is based on, and I just listed most of them just now in the question before on the hair. The unique thing about the bone is that the bone has a sheath on it, you might say like a glove. And when you suddenly decelerate, like you stomp or you hit the table, what happens is there's a jiggling, a little shimmering, you might say, of the periosteum, a little shaking, a little pulling on it. you might say. And that microsecond of pull, stress, tear creates an electrochemical response. It's called a piezometric response that stimulates the cells, saying the bone is being used, repair it, use it. So this electrochemical messaging is based on sudden deceleration, like that, okay, or stomping. So people who go walking and they're wearing these big, thick, cushy gym shoes, you are getting all that softening of the pounding that our forefathers had. I just don't see in the history books the dowager hump, you see in the old women and men, because they didn't have any cushy shoes. They had hard-soled shoes, so they were often getting that hard um, stop. Now, if you're a runner, you are getting it. But those of us who are not runners, we need to purposely have like soft moccasins on or soft bare feet, and then stomp, for 10, 20 seconds twice a day and get that sudden deceleration going. I have a punching bag in my backyard, for my wrists and so forth. You can also jam it on the table, 10 strikes each arm. And then natural hormones like progesterone are known to help stimulate the osteoblast building, and vitamin D, getting levels up there higher than the average, the 30-60 range. We take our patients to 80 to 100, and then estradiol stimulates bone building. And then we give them the vitamin D K2. The K2 component with vitamin D is superior in helping build those bones. And then we stress the stomping, and we stress the natural hormones, and we stress the healthy lifestyle. And then we don't have to worry about calcium supplementation, strontium, boron, these esoteric things that are rich in or are available in eating grass-fed beef and wild prairie-raised chicken and pigs and fresh wild-caught fish. This tends to be abundant in their tissue. So that's what I would say. I'm not familiar with OsteoStrong, but you cannot get away with the fact that low dose of vitamin D, lack of hormones, both estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and the sudden deceleration exercises are very key. Rebounders are good also for if you don't want to stomp. If you did the rebounder, 5-10 minutes twice a day, that would be helpful. All right, the next question is Cynthia. Happy New Year, Dr. Ellithorpe. Happy New Year back to you, Cynthia. Thank you for taking our questions. That's why we're here, because you matter. All right, so Cynthia asks, I listened to an interesting interview of Sally K. Norton talking about oxalates and how they affect our body. Are you familiar with oxalate issues, and what do you think about it? May God continue to bless you and your family in the year ahead. Thank you for that prayer. Yes, oxalates, these are rich in foods like spinach, which I love spinach, and I love to eat it. There are certain plants that are very rich in oxalates. This is a phytochemical, and you can concentrate that and wind up getting stones and other crystal formation in your body. I suppose it's a risk, but I've never really seen anyone overdose on spinach or these other cruciferous vegetables or oxalate-rich vegetables. What I really see happen is people don't drink enough water, and then they become chronically dehydrated. And then when they're eating foods that are healthy but have the oxalates in them, then they can more easily form in their dehydrated state, chronic dehydrated state, these crystal formations. So I agree, this is a concern, but I have really never seen a problem in 41 years practicing medicine. If they drink water, then I don't see these problems. Anthony says, have you found any success for treating GERD, gastroenteral reflux disease, with the use of globulin supplements? Well, our SBI Protect is serum bovine immunoglobulins, and so we use this a lot for reflux, gastritis, and yes. So the answer is yes, Anthony. A lot of the times, these protein immunoglobulins are very helpful in protecting the lining of the gut and giving relief from that heartburn, or with colostrum. And the answer is yes, because it's so full of immunoglobulins. I have been reading that these supplements can help. Thank you. Yeah, we use SBI Protect. And when I say I use it, I'm telling you I use a ton of this. SBI Protect powder and serum bovine immunoglobulin is what it stands for, from New Zealand bovine that are grass-fed, and quite an excellent research product. I thank the Lord I don't need it, but I have been blessed to have a father and mother who raised me on a very healthy life extension type lifestyle and diet. So I do believe that, that was a great help. Then rules in the home of growing up: you don't ever eat late. If you didn't make it for dinner, you don't get dinner. So I think that also helped me. Asia has the question. Hello, Dr. Elitharp. Happy New Year. Happy New Year back to you, Asia, and to your parents. Tell them hi for me. What do you think of gallbladder cleanse? And do you have a specific one you can recommend? Also, what do you suggest for aging eyes? My dad is asking, what are the best supplements and any other advice for healthy eyesight? And you're stating you're sorry about my dog, my son's dog, Snoopy. You and your family are in my prayers. Yeah, thank you for remembering Snoopy. And you want to hear something really fantastic? I was blown away. It was Snoopy was put down a week ago today at 3:30, roughly 4 o'clock, and then we started the video at 6. So it was just within 2 hours of passing. That was Tuesday. Friday morning, or sometime on Friday, I was reading, and the car pulled up, and a lady walked to my front door, and I opened the door, and she handed me a jar of roses, some beautiful roses, and a card. And I said, well, who are you and what are these flowers for? And she said, that we're from Saddleback Veterinary Clinic here in Tustin-on-Bryan, and we just wanted to bring you flowers and a sympathy card for your family. Now, I thought that was so above and beyond, just blew me away with their kindness. Such lovely people there, Dr. Kavanaugh and all. It was just such a touching thing. So Asia, back to your question. What do I think of gallbladder cleanses? I don't think much, Asia, of them, or this concept over many decades. And if there was value to it, believe me, I would be championing it for you. But I have never found gallbladder cleanses to be helpful. For instance, most of them involve having some olive oil consumed and in large amounts. And then your bowel movements seem to have these stones that they call gallstones, but these are really bile-coated micelles, which are little fatty globules. I think it's a stress that your body doesn't need. You know what's the best cleanse? Living a healthy lifestyle, drinking enough water each and every day, exercising, at least, every other day, um, being low carb and not eating after a certain time. Just whatever your life schedule is, you say, I will not eat past this time. And then trying to do intermittent fasting. Now, you don't have to do a 5-day fast like me twice a year, but I do think you should try, if you don't have any other medical contraindications, which there are very, very few. But if you're an insulin-dependent diabetic, you could probably not fast. But basically, doing 24 hours without eating, going from dinner to dinner, is one of the most cleansing things. God has made us, and written in the DNA is how to heal, how to repair. We are not smart enough to heal a deep laceration cut. There's a beautiful orchestra there on millions and billions of cells and chemicals in our body that bring that beautiful healing to fruition. So if you give your body a rest once a week, especially as you get, past age 30, if you don't have food in you for 24 hours, then your body is totally looking and scrounging around for repair and cleanup for its needs. This is called autophagy. And then there's mitophagy. Even your mitochondria can get rejuvenated. And this is one of the best ways as we get older and elderly to stimulate healing and repair. Now, for eyesight, I have found fasting tremendously beneficial because I had, excuse me, I had some floater show up, I would say about a year ago now. And as soon as this floater in my left eye showed up, it was tremendously irritating and, just floating in my vision and messing, my eye coordination up. And I just fasted for 5 days, and I cut that sucker almost totally down to nothing. And so fasting helps your body, because what is a floater? It's just junk protein in the vitreous humor of the eye, which is a proteinaceous kind of like liquid gel. And for some reason, it got triggered by probably some stress, oxidative stress, or virus, or a combination, or dehydration, or lack of sleep, too much stress. And I had a little of it congeal, and it was floating in there. So I went on a 5-day fast, and voila, bingo. Oh, and I took the enzymes, Vascuzyme or Vitalzyme. I took on the fast 5 of them twice a day, 10 a day, and it just tremendously got better. The other thing is microcirculation is improved with EDTA chelation therapy. So really, the back of your eyeball is just a capillary cup, okay? It's just full of neurons and tiny capillaries that are dealing with all this informational light and transformation of this light and neurons. And so you have to have good capillaries. Therefore, EDTA chelation always helps vision. I have my macular degeneration patients and my glaucoma patients have avoided surgeries simply because they did fasting, took enzymes, they used EDTA chelation therapy on a regular basis. Then I always have everyone on Juice Plus. I have never found anything to be superior, and it has so many research papers, independent universities looking at randomized controlled trials, and many of them are blinded as well. And so if you're going to say, where is that wonderful vitamin A and the other nutrients needed, the nutrient condensation, you might say, from 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries, give you all the resveratrol, anthocyanidins, all these strange pycnogenols concentrated in the Juice Plus for your eye. And then, of course, the low carb healthy lifestyle, diet, exercise, drinking your water. Those are the things I would say, Asia, that I would recommend. Juice Plus, chelation therapy, intermittent fasting, a 24-hour fast at least once a week, if not two times a week if you really have a problem. And then I wouldn't do any gallbladder cleanses. I just know over decades that it's not necessary, that this healthy lifestyle will do it. All right, the next page has Andrea. Hi, Dr. Althorpe. I've been a patient of yours for years now and always learned so much for you. Thank you, Andrea. I learned from my patients, so this is a beneficial relationship. Remember, this program is all about you and me and us both gaining in a good outcome. Okay, so the question is, it's about her mother. She's 79 and she was diagnosed with focal dystonia a few years ago in her right foot. Her foot is now turning and curling under to the inside where she walks now, and it hurts. She wants a brace and uses a walker and may need a wheelchair soon. I've talked to her about chelation therapy you talk about, as well as clearing up her diet, no carbs and sugar, and wondered if you could recommend chelation for people with neurological disorders like this. Absolutely, Andrea, absolutely. If you want the nerves and the muscle tissues and the bones, all tissue, to get better nutritional flow dynamics every beating second of your life, you have to have excellent microcirculation, and that's what EDTA chelation does. Then the low carb diet will improve the circulation, hydration will improve it, not eating late, and then getting on the healthy nerve building lifestyles, which is eating meat, fish, chicken, turkey, beef, eggs, all this healthy fat, choline, phospholipids, help restore the nerves and repair the muscle tissues and so forth. And then therapy, physical therapy. So yes, and then I would take enzymes, anti-inflammatory enzymes, and so forth. Okay. Then she goes on, Andrea says, I am still learning about mom's condition. She's lived a healthy life, but did have some autoimmune issues from time to time, mostly large hives on her legs. Then they would disappear. Thanks so much for all you do for us. God bless you in the new year always, Andrea. Thank you, Andrea. And indeed, we develop these odd cross-reactivity with our own tissues from the immune system that we have. And we believe that this starts in the gut primarily. And this is a low-grade chronic inflammatory issue. You might love eating tomatoes, and you eat them all the time or very often, multiple times during the week. But the lectins in the tomatoes, the little protein signatures that makes a tomato, is in the skin, and it is known to be very irritating to the gut lining, and your gut is only one cell membrane thick. So we can be taking in these foods, these vegetables, which the vegetable kingdom largely has this whole arena of lectins, which is a general term that defines these little phytochemicals that define the vegetable for what it is, whether it's eggplant or tomato or potato or onion or garlic or whatever it is, green bean and so forth. These lectins are there to try and repel mold and fungus and insects and bacteria. And they're very potent on a small scale to those insects and fungi and molds. But to human beings, it just creates a low-grade chronic irritation. And then your immune system gets confused and exhausted, constantly fighting, because marketing gets you to eat the same thing over and over and over and over again. And you're putting that down your gut all the time because they've juiced it up with high fructose corn syrup, MSGs, salty, fake butter, chemicals, and so forth. And so you get addicted to eating this. And then you create this chronic irritation. Then you get the crossover attack, so to say. And then you get these neurological, you could get MS from this kind of process. You can get rheumatoid arthritis. You can get thyroiditis. You can get, skin rashes. You can get headaches. And on it goes. So yes, we need to eat with much more humility and much less demand for entertainment. Of course, marketing wants to make it entertaining and market it as your right, your privilege to entertain your mouth every time you open it to eat, but they have corrupted it. Barb goes on to say, I am a patient with Dr. Merrick, would like to know your opinion on OsteoStrong. No, wait a minute. I did that one already. Yes. So that's a duplicate one. So I answered that already, Barb. Sally said, with a food sensitivity immuno-IgG lab results of +1 to pineapple and +1 to papaya, is it still okay to continue taking VitalZyme given its contents of bromelain, papain, or would you recommend a different systemic enzymes? Thank you so much for your help. Very grateful. Sally, the answer is yes, I would continue taking VitalZyme and or VascuZyme because the food allergens are to the lectins, really not the internal enzymes that are in. So it's like saying, let's say you had a reaction to eating a strawberry and your lips swole. Then you say, I'm allergic to strawberries. Okay, but you're not allergic to vitamin C in that strawberry. You're not allergic to some of the B vitamins in that strawberry, other antioxidants in that strawberry, any of the minerals in that strawberry. So to say the word papaya and pineapple is to be describing the defining lectin of that fruit, not the internal contents. And this is what is really giving you the benefit. So no, you're not having a problem by taking VitalZyme. Continuing VitalZyme or other supplements before and after surgery? If so, for how long? Have factor V, Leiden, thank you. Kimberly, the answer to that is we stop them before surgery. And the reason is not because it's really a bad thing. It's just it improves the tiny microcirculation. So in a sense, it's a very slight, mild blood thinner. And then if you're cutting and doing surgery, if you've ever been in a surgical suite or you see it on the YouTube, you'll see they have cauterization tools, instrument, and the little capillaries, little arterioles will leak blood after you make an incision. And so they cauterize all these little sites, but they'll tend to ooze if you have blood thinners or too much enzyme action in your body. So we say about 4 or 5 days before any surgery, stop your systemic enzymes. And then we say the day after surgery, then you resume them. And I often tell my patients to double up on them for a week or two, 7 to 14 days, to help clean up the inflammatory trauma of the site of the surgery. So that's the story with that, Kimberly. John says, I fill 5 gallons containers, BPA free, with reverse osmosis water from a professional water processing facility to supply my family's drinking water needs. What is the preferred method for replacing minerals missing in this source? is reverse osmosis water from a professional processing facility which has invested in multi-stage filtration, the safest available for total body health. Well, John, that could be a 2-hour lecture right there. In general, hydration is very important, and getting filtered water such that you are not getting the load of heavy metal toxins, plasticizers, phthalates, toxins that are in the water system, arsenic and such. We need to get that out of the water. So you're doing the absolute good thing by getting filtered water. Now, reverse osmosis has that problem in that there are some mineral upsets. So if you're eating grass-fed beef, grass-fed, pigs and prairie-raised chicken and stuff like that, and wild-caught fish, and these things, they are very rich in minerals. But I also take a multi-mineral every day of my life, and that's because over the 40 years of practicing medicine, I have seen magnesium probably the number one deficiency in minerals. And then number two would be maybe selenium. And so I've always taken it because I have seen this so drop off in the available marketing of groceries. So take a multi-mineral. That should be it, all you need, along with eating the meats and the chicken and the fish and the pork and so forth. Now, the other thing I was going to bring up about that, John, is what else was I going to bring up about that? I can't think of what I was just going to say. If you have a home unit like a Berkey water filter, these are these canisters, and then a top canister, and they have these filters in them. And then you just dump the water in and it filters through, and then you let it out the spigot on the bottom. Very, very simple. I'm looking at mine right here. The Berkey unit is fabulous, and it gets rid of the absolute vast majority. I don't think mine has the fluoride filter. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Iodine is another salt that I find very, very deficient in the human community here. I would say a good 96% of everyone I've ever tested has been deficient. So getting iodine in your diet, a salt tablet, would be good. But I think taking a multi-mineral is just fine, and not to worry about that so much. But any effort you put in from filtering from your community water source, I think, is very necessary today. Another thing I have in my office here is I have a room dehumidifier. It makes water out of the air, the humidity of the air. As long as you have humidity in your environment of at least 32%, these machines work to take that moisture in the air and condense it on a cool strip, and it drips into a container and fills up. So that's a tremendous way to filter it. But again, your minerals are not going to be floating so much in the air. So I have been using that for a long time now. And I just take my multi-minerals, and my labs are stellar. So we thank the Lord for that. Sandy said, recently I had radio frequency ablations on the great saphenous veins in my right and left legs. One is healing more slowly than the other. How long should I wait after these procedures before having enhanced chelation? You don't have to wait. In my opinion, you can do them right away. I'm not a vascular surgeon. I'm not an expert on the management of treating these. I think you're treating varicose veins, if I understand the situation, Sandy, is what you're describing here. But the older we get, the slower we heal. Here's a excellent situation where fasting will stimulate more rapid healing. Fasting, an extremely low carb diet. This is where eating meat and egg yolks and things that are rich in healthy proteins and fats will enhance the healing quality, reduce scarring. This is where systemic enzymes will really help you. This is where drinking enough water will tremendously help you get a better result. But you don't have to put off enhanced chelation. You can do that right away. In fact, I tell people to try and get enhanced chelation the day before or hours before getting surgery. The reason is that we have research, all kinds of animal research on ligating or cutting off the blood supply to major organs in an animal. Those that get EDTA chelation prior to that ligation, when they do research and they sacrifice the animals and they look at the organ in the chelated animal, they find that there's almost no tissue breakdown and damage compared to an animal that undergoes surgery and does not get chelation first. Because remember, EDTA chelation, EDTA itself is a antioxidant preservative. It helps during hypoxia. It helps during low blood flow. It's just a tremendous thing to do. Let's see, Dorothy asks, what kind of vitamin E is the best for the body? What does it do? Vitamin E comes as tocopherols and tocotrienols. There's 4 different kinds of tocopherols, 4 different kinds of tocotrienols. This is a family of vitamin E. And what is the best source of it? Well, eating organic, farm-raised, and vegetables and dairy and animals and poultry and so forth and fish. I don't have a brand name. I know it's in the Juice Plus. I know it's in the TLC Energy Core, but I do not know any specific brand name. Of course, the internet has anything you want because where's the research though to say that it's quality and tested? We test our patients all the time. We do nutrient density assays, micronutrient assays, and vitamin E deficiencies are just not something I see when a patient is living a healthy lifestyle and taking things like Juice Plus, vitamin D, enzymes, enough water, low carb, exercising, eating healthy organic vegetables, and prairie raised beef, chicken, turkey, and things, wild caught fish. So vitamin E is an antioxidant. It's very important in cell membrane integrity. It helps in regenerating micronutrient antioxidant pathways. It's very important in all the fatty membranes, especially in your brain, for memory and cardiovascularly. That heart is always exercising, pumping every day. So you need very good antioxidants to help the repair phase and cycle of your heart tissues and muscles. So it's very, very important. But we could make an hour lecture on thousands of micronutrients in the human body that are very important. And we just can't take 1,000 supplements. We have to live a healthy lifestyle. We need to consume what we're made of. And we're made of protein and fats and minerals, okay? We are not made of starch and carbohydrates and sugars. Otherwise, we'd be hard as rock candy. So if we consume grass-fed beef and prairie-raised chicken and poultry and wild-caught fish and prairie-raised pigs and on like that, you see, we are going to be having all those things that our body needs to repair itself with if we don't clog it up with sugars and starches and fruit sugars and processed foods, cheap, easy, addicting, colored, hydrogenated fat with trans fatty acids. These are the things we need to avoid, and then we'll be doing fine. Let's see, Maxwell says, do you recommend near infrared saunas or far infrared saunas? Let me get my thinking right on this. Mine is an infrared, far infrared one, so I don't have a near infrared saunas. I would say I'm not an expert on that to give you a solid answer, Maxwell. My suggestion is to go onto the YouTube and look up the name Rhonda, Rhonda Patrick, just like Patrick, Rhonda Patrick. She's a PhD, and she has done tons of research on saunas, infrared, far red, and it's all favorable. I'm not sure that I even know if there exists a near infrared sauna. I have an infrared sauna in my bedroom, and I get the temperature in there up to like 150, 146. And I sit in there about 40 minutes, and my body temperature goes from, I test my temperature with a oral thermometer, mercury-based thermometer, and then I'm about, 98.3 degrees before, and but when I get out, I'm 101. And that's just fantastic. So look up Rhonda Patrick, PhD, and the word sauna, and you'll see so many wonderful lectures on this whole topic. The Finnish people in Finland, most all of them, every household has an infrared or a sauna, wet sauna, where you have the hot rocks and you put the water on it. That is a hotter environment that can get up to like 200 degrees. And I don't think you can stay in there as long as I do. I stay in mine about 40, 45 minutes. Okay, so that'll help you there, Maxwell. Hopefully you'll look at some of those. Besides that, what are the most important criteria to consider when buying an infrared sauna for regular in-home use? Is there a particular company manufacturer that you recommend? The one I bought was, what's the name of what I bought? Sauna Sure. Yeah, I think it's called Sauna Sure. It's a tent that I also got the Faraday cage with it. So it's got the canvas tenting, then it has the Faraday cage over that, plus another canvas. So mine is 3 layers thick. I have my 4 big bulbs for my infrared. It's only about 5 foot tall, so I have to stoop my head to get in there and sit down on the stool. And it has a flap that secures with Velcro. And, you can hear anything. I have my YouTube playing while I'm in there, and I just listen. And then I rotate around on my stool like I'm a rotisserie chicken. And Sauna Sure is what I use, and it's in my home, and it's the light, electrical light bulbs that have that infrared. And that's what I use. But I know that Dr. Rhonda Patrick goes over other brands and such. So I don't have the time and the wherewithal to do the hot water over the rocks, either build it on my outside with the wood enclosure, nor I know that you can do sometimes have that even in your home, but I move things around so much in my home. I've got to deal with a simple system. And it works just fine, in my opinion. And you'll hear Dr. Rhonda Patrick say, yeah, she thinks that the using the light bulb method, just so long as your core body temperature rises. And I told you, my temperature goes up to 101. Then Tara says, Dr. Rita, last week you asked if I was a patient of yours doing chelation and I'm not because I live out of state. And your office stated they only treat in California when I called to inquire about becoming a patient. What dosage do you do EDTA at for gadolinium detox, or do you do for yourself? Is that once a week or more frequently? Thank you. Um, Tara, what I found over many, many decades of being around chelation therapy, remember I was 7 years old, and that's 62 years ago, when my grandfather had his unstable angina. And my dad went to Glacier Doctors, that's the Great Lakes um, uh, College for the Advancement of Medicine, and they were doing chelation, teaching it for the first time in the 1950s. And my grandfather got chelation therapy. So when I say I know chelation therapy, I'm telling you I know chelation therapy. And we can give you, according to the Cockcroft calculations, your body mass and your kidney function. We can do a calculation on the maximum dose we can give you of 50 milligram per kilogram. But why use the maximum dose? Remember, you're pulling toxins out, and movement of toxins is irritating. It can make you feel sick. So I have long since decided I'm never going to use the maximum dose. I want happy, healthy, detoxing routinely, faithfully managed IVs with no problems. And that's exactly what we have here. Because I only use half the strength of the dose, 50%. And you could ask your local doctor to do a Cockcroft calculation. He'll know what that means if he does chelation therapy. This Cockcroft calculation is based on 50 milligram per kilogram body weight. And just tell him to cut it in half. You only want to do it at half the amount. That's what I do for myself and all my patients. And I never have a problem. Now, I would do this weekly. You could do it more than once a week, 2, even 3 times. The most I've ever allowed a patient to do is 4 times a week, because very often, even at full strength, 50 milligram per kilogram, people do chelation twice a week. So if I give you half that strength, you can do it 4 times a week, which would be the total equivalent dose. Nobody almost ever does 4 times a week, but some often do it once, twice a week. And if you can tolerate it, then you can move that gadolinium on out and talk with your local chelation doctor there. Now, let's see if we have any questions in the chat. Let's see. David Hertzberg says, how's your 5-day fast going? We're on day 2. Yes, I'm in day 3, David, and I'm doing just fine. I feel I've already taken my vitamins. It goes up to about that, there might be 23, 20 in the afternoon. So I must take like 46 vitamins total a day. Anyway, so now all I eat are my vitamins. And then I'm drinking, all my water in my glass. And then I have my black coffee. And I'm going to bed probably sooner. I don't want to be triggered by a commercial or anything or anyone around the home eating. And so it's going very, very well. He also said, I also take lutein and zeaxanthin for eye health. Yes, but that's in Juice Plus. The lutein and zeaxanthin is in the Juice Plus. So there are isolates like resveratrol in grapes, and there's tremendous antioxidant health from these things. But we can't, follow each biochemical discovery and then make a pill for it. So that's why I say put your faith in proven decades and decades worth of research, and Juice Plus is just one of them. And then we have millions of children on it worldwide, and we have such great outcomes for the children. So zeaxanthin. These are antioxidants that are plant-based derivatives that Mr. Hertzberg is talking about, and they are very good for your eye. Amela says, what brand would you recommend for oral mercury-based thermometer? Well, I don't have a brand name. I have the plastic, it's in like a plastic, and then it tapers down to the tip. And mine is maybe 20 years old. So, Amela, I just don't know. I know nowadays they have these light reflective sensors that are absolutely pin precise. And that's, or you touch your temple, or you just take the wand over the forehead. These are typically what they're doing. I just mentioned it because I'm using an old thermometer, and it's in a plastic encasement, so I can't break it. And it's probably one of the last products that were ever sold in that form 20, 30 years ago. But I take good care of it, like my other equipment. So that's what I would say. Just use stay away from trying to look for a mercury thermometer. I don't think you can even find one today. Well, my dear Health Freedom Tribe from TLC, we are now past 7 o'clock. I think I've answered every question on the emailed ones and all the chat group. And I do thank you again. Again, if you find this has value to you, please like and subscribe, share it with family and friends. We will increase the hours that we do this as we see the demand. Right now, we're keeping it at once a week, and hopefully my other clinicians will get on board and start doing this. But in the meantime, choose to prevent disease, not try and get in a situation where you're trying to reverse disease. So with that, I say God bless, Happy New Year, and be optimistic. All right, take care. Bye-bye.